Good afternoon YouTube friends, my name is Jackie and welcome back to Gone Potty Gardening. I've had a busy few weeks, as you know. This time of the year is blimmin' hectic in the garden. On top of that I had my grass cutter go wrong, so that's in for repair. But anyway, I've been trying to be really creative with canes and I'm really pleased with the result actually. So I'll show you what I've been doing. So I've been planting some runner beans in pots. But I've noticed that the lower leaves are getting eaten, look. So I've been taking them off. And the rest of the plant seems to be coming on lovely. So I just need to make sure that I keep the bottom clear, let the air get round in there. We have had a lot of rain, but this plant seems to be coming on lovely now. This is another pot that I did, and again I'm going to take the lower leaves off. It's slugs probably that's getting in there, but once a plant's got a decent-ish size and starts going up the pole, you can take the lower leaves off to try and discourage the slugs from getting them. So I'll just do that and then I'll stand back and show you what I'm doing. I've got one more variety to put in. That looks better, doesn't it? There's one there that's a bit, yeah, so that looks better. So I've got another packet of beans that I want to put in. So the ones that I showed you just now were started in pots in the polytunnel. So I'm going to pop these into the other pot that I've got. These ones are called Enorma, and these were from Joyce, I think, and she said in my opinion the best runner beans about. So yeah, there's enough in there to plant in the pot that I got out there, so let's go and do that first. So in this final pot I'm going to plant these Enorma beans. I don't know how many's in here, but I'll just share them out. I've got 6 canes in each bucket, and the canes are about 8 foot. And what I'll do, they're lovely, aren't they? What I'll do is try and save some when they finished producing beans and dried out on the plant. So I'm going to put these round the edge. What I'm going to do though, to make the canes quite stable and stiff in there, you have to put your fist around the bottom of them to enable them to be nice and sturdy. So I'll put 2 round each at the moment, and then if there's any left I'll just share them with the other. Obviously these are going to be a little bit later cropping than the others. Now I was trying to be a bit creative with the canes, as you can see in that one. That one's got about 6 canes in that first one, and there's the top. And I've joined a cane right along to the next container down there. And just now, I didn't have enough long canes of the 8 foot, so I joined some together with twine, so it doesn't matter though. That's the one we've just planted. And if I move the camera up, there's a DIY stick from the garden going along there, which I again joined right in the middle. But yeah, I thought that's quite a nice idea for growing the beans this year. That little area there is like another window to the garden, isn't it? I can imagine all the beans growing up the poles, and then I'll train them across the top and hopefully get some lovely beans. I was going to do a no dig bed for those beans, but I've got so much to do and so much going on. I thought, oh come on, let's just fill some pots. And you know, you can be creative as you go along. That's the only way I do it. And yeah, I think it'd be stable from the wind as well, because they're all joined together. So yeah, as they grow up, the canes, I'll try and train them along at the top. Admittedly, I had to get a broom to push the top one going across across, you know, to fit it on. But yeah, and that actually gave me another idea when I was sitting here just now. I've got a beautiful clematis still in the pot around the back of that old oil, well, it's not an old oil tank, but right behind the back of there. And I actually thought I could make something like that from a bucket, a few buckets, make a nice, you know, bit of woodwork really out of just branches from the trees that are around, and grow it over there. I think it'd be lovely. And they do grow, well, that particular type of clematis grows very quick, so it'd be lovely. It'll just brighten the place up. Anyway, so if you want to get creative with your pots, it's perfect. That it's really, you know, I'm so pleased with it. And like I say, just make sure, like when you put the canes in, because they're very tall, you know, push with your fist into the soil really hard so that it's really firm around the end of the canes, and then you'll end up having to top the soil up again, which is fine, isn't it? Here's another little plant I got during the week. This was from the garden centre. Now, I think it comes from China, and I loved it. Got those little bells on it. That one's called an Abutilon, Abutilon. And it's a bit temperamental, as it says that it has a spreading habit. I mean, it was sold in the garden centre in Ireland. Whether it'll do well in this climate, I have no idea. But it does recommend to take cuttings in case, you know, anything happens to it in a cold spell. But I think in the winter, I'm going to grow this in a tub, by the way. Yeah, I'm going to grow it in a tub until I've got a couple of good cuttings, and then I could try one of them in the ground, because I wouldn't want to lose the whole plant without trying it first. But yeah, it's a lovely. I love the bells on it. It likes a sunny spot, and it actually has a spread of 2.5 metres, which is a lot, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, that was my little garden centre joy. Because the weather's still a little bit temperamental, it's very windy today, very wet. The wet is the mainstay at the moment, which you know, it does affect the plants. So I've had to bring 2 buckets of sweet peas in here. They were yellowing at the leaves a little bit, too much water, and so I've stood them in the polytunnel just for a little while, just till it picks up outside, and then they'll be great. I've got a few more jobs to do today. One of them will be planting up these cucumbers. Now these will, I think these, I can't remember what ones these are, but these will be going in the polytunnel, and I shall plant them in the planter, tall planter with 4 legs, and use string, and they'll probably take up that whole corner. There's quite more plants than we need really, but what we don't eat, the animals or neighbours will eat. So yeah, so they're the little things that I'll be doing today. Like I say, I've got more tomato plants to put into the bigger pots. Lots of little seedlings, I'll show you. Another aim for me this year was to grow more perennials, so that every year I wasn't buying more plants to put in the garden, and I'd have the joy of seeing them come up every year. So I did plant quite a few perennials of my own this year. Now these ones are Canterbury Bell, and they are like a biennial, so they will grow one year, probably self-seed, and then you get more the next year. But here in this tray is 40 plants. Now if I was to probably go to our local garden centre and buy one of these, all right, it might be in a bigger pot. It'd probably be about €2.95, which is, I don't know, £2.50 in English money. And you know, I've got all these plants from just a packet of seeds, so it's definitely worth growing your own. Definitely give it a go. So I've still got, like I say, tomatoes to pot up into bigger pots. Not all of them, I've done quite a few. I've got a great big tub of leeks. I've got some beetroot to put outside, some cabbages. I'm just waiting on a bit of dry weather, which hopefully will come. The sun's come out now. I've shut the polytunnel door this end, that's boiling. But yeah, so there's plenty, get out. There's plenty to get on with. And Prior to that, I had to get the goats settled. We bought a couple of little girl goats, female goats, and I kept them in the polytunnel for a couple of days, in the green one. I was able to open it at both ends, you know, it wasn't hot in there. I used an old dog pen with hay and a dog house and water, and they were happy in there. And the reason for me doing that was I wanted to get them used to me, instead of being a bit scatty and not coming near me, for the pure reason that I would need to catch them to do their feet, you know, cut their little hooves. So yeah, and that worked wonders. They were great in the polytunnel. Look, I'll just show you. But I'm quite impressed how she's become a bit tamer. You know, before, if I was to put my hand out, she'd run off. And you, beautiful girl, aren't you? She's looking at the dog through the gaps in the fence. But yeah, you're beautiful, aren't you? So I've got Melody and Harmony as names, and we keep getting confused. She's got such a funny, what they call bleat. It's really squeaky. But yeah, she's a beautiful colour, kind of like rusty brown and ginger. And here she comes. You come to say hello. You lovely girl, aren't you? I adore them, I do. I've been sitting in here with them and fussing them, haven't I? Yeah, she is a little bit more timid, but once you stroke her, she loves it. But you see, if I was to put her straight outside, she'd probably never ever be able to get hold of her or get her near me. Here she comes now, look, for a bit of fuss. There, things are improving, aren't they? Hey, they're about 12 weeks, these two. Well, that one's a little bit younger. But yeah, I just love them. Yeah, you know you're beautiful, don't you? Here she comes again. Yeah, you are. You're so gorgeous. And now they're having a wonderful time outside with the bigger goats. There was a bit of argy-bargy, who's bosh, you know, but you get that with any animal. I just had to keep an eye on them a little bit. I created 2 little shelters from what are quite common over in Ireland, IBC tanks. Cut the hole out the front and cleaned them all out, sterilised them, and that's their little houses for now. I'd like to put something in there later on that I could actually sit under with them when it was raining, so that would be a future project. But I absolutely adore them. They're so funny, and in the future I hope to breed them, you know. And yeah, we have one Billy. He's not he's a wether, so he won't be able to breed. But yeah, so we've got 3 female goats. We've got Nellie, we got her first, and the other 2 were Rusty and Ebony. So yeah, it's all go, go, go. Anyway, I do hope that you enjoyed the video, and I love reading your comments, and please give it a thumbs up. It does help the video and the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. You take care, everyone. Be creative, whatever you do. Bye for now. Bye. Why not come and join me on Facebook or Instagram? The link is in the description.